The best time to fish is when you can get out. May has been probably my best fishing month, and it runs through really well through June. Now you get northern Idaho, you're going to have a little later season because of the temperature. Kokanee have soft mouths, so the hook comes out fairly easy. And so to try to keep them on the line and not lose them just as you get to the boat, we have, it's kind of like a bungee cord. Most of these snubbers don't last too long and they lose their elasticity. I do a fun little thing is I get the little wristbands, tie a good heavy line on each end, and that is a really good bungee cord. It lasts, I've never had one break. Handmade, no cost, just a couple swivels. Most kokanee fishermen want to attract the fish to the food. And pop gear is a normal word that we use for all of them. Here's one that's hammered. They'll call them cowbells, they'll call them jackaloids, they'll call them beer cans. So all of those do the same thing. The very end where you want to catch the fish, most important. This is called a wedding ring. And what you put on the end of these is white shoe peg corn. I don't know anyone use anything else except that. I then like to have a little scent. This one's power bait, this one's nitro. It puts a little glitter and puts a little smell. It helps them bite. This is a 5-ounce salmon weight. And I have used it when I don't have a downrigger. And I'll put that on and it goes down real fast. But when you're fishing, most of these will be from 1 ounce to 2 ounce, ½ ounce, depending on how deep you want to fish. But this will be the first thing on your line, followed by the snubber, followed by your pop gear, followed by your spinner hook. This is one of my very favorite poles, reels, and the setup. 15 to 20 pound monofilament, so it's plenty heavy, and a good size swivel or snap. To that I have a very good bungee cord. Okay, this one's the one I made as I mentioned before. Here is another one of my favorite pop gears. It's called a Ford Fender. It's hammered and it's got 2 colors, half and half. I think that's important. Then hooked onto that is a brass and pink colored wedding ring. This has a single hook, which works just fine. And on there, most guys will put just a single piece of corn, followed by what I use is then my crappie niblet on the end for scent. So that is my #1 setup. That's my very favorite. When I'm fishing and it gets a little slow, the first thing I do will try different depths. I'll start at 20 feet, go to 25, go to 30, I'll go 35, and if it's really slow, I'll drop down to 45. Then I'm going to say, I'm going to change gear. So I snap off here. I have all the gear ready to go and just put a new one right on. If I'm 20 minutes without a bite, I'll do some changing. The first thing I'll change is my wedding ring. I have a little unit where I have them all coiled up and I say, okay, I want something blue. I heard blue was good. So I will uncoil this, put the blue one on. On this particular one, it's got pink and blue with the wedding ring. And I put a crappie skirt on there that gives it a little squid type look to it. Another quick change, they don't like the brass and white today. So we go to, I hand painted these and put on a commercial reflective strip that you buy at the shops. And This is just as easy and quick to change as your terminal gear. I usually often will have it ready to go, so I just do one snap change. Everything else is ready to go. One of the general rules that a lot of people don't understand is when they're not really biting hard, when they're really shy, so to speak, from the gear, you get smaller and smaller gear. So you'd go to just a flasher, maybe with a lure at the end, rather than all the big flashers. If your pole's bending too far and you're not on a downrigger, you're going too fast. Go a little faster, a lot of times your lines will come right to the surface. I think that going slow, where your spinners are just barely turning. I really believe if you have any kind of a small motor that you still need to have a trolling plate. I think it's really important to stop, change directions. Otherwise, if you kind of serpentine, you'll get changes in speed. As the boat is moving, the outside will be a little faster, the inside a little slower. You stop, it drops, and then you pick back up. So that serpentine movement, rather than just straight ahead, is really a secret that most fishermen don't do. They just go straight ahead. A lot of times, taking the line while you're trolling and jerking it, giving it a little jig, will make a difference. They're following along, you pull it up, you drop it back, boom, you'll get that hit. So that's part of the trolling.